either by going to your, let's say, the front page of your website, like the one I have here, and create a sitemap down at the bottom, like I have here, where I link to all the different pages inside my website. Now, because I have links to all the pages inside my website, inside one page, it becomes easier for the user to actually find your pages, and it also becomes easier for search engines such as Google to figure out what exactly the links are and what the pages are inside your website. Because when Google has to go in and find all different websites on the internet, it sends out some sort of bots that crawls around your website and figures out what the links are. And this is really important when it comes to SEO optimization. And in case you don't know what SEO optimization is, it stands for search engine optimization, which means that you can make it easier for people to find your website inside a search engine like Google, which is really important if you want people to actually find your website. Now, another way to create a sitemap is by not doing it this way, because this might be one of the more lazy ways to create it, but the best way to create a sitemap is by creating a separate HTML page that you can link to inside maybe your, your navigation or inside the footer, that allow people to go into a separate page that has links to all the different pages inside your website. And this makes it easier for both Google and users to find whatever content that might be inside your website, no matter how well it's hidden inside your website, because sometimes you need to dig quite a bit to go through all the pages to get to specific content. Now, the last way you can create a sitemap, which is what we're going to do in this episode, is by creating something called an XML document that actually marks up all the different links that you have inside your website. Now, an XML file is not something that you can actually see inside the website on a separate page. An XML file is more meant for the search engines that you have out there, such as Google. And in case you start panicking now, because I just said we're going to create something called an XML file, I just want to calm you down by saying that we're not going to write any sort of XML. We're just going to automatically create it inside a tool that we can find online. So don't worry about it. We don't need to create any other type of, markup or programming than HTML in this course here. We're just going to go ahead and stick with HTML. Now, I just want to point out that the difference between creating an HTML page that is a sitemap and a XML page that is a sitemap is that the HTML page is more meant for humans. It's something that a human or a user can go into your website and actually use to navigate your website. Now, an XML sitemap, like I mentioned, is only meant for search engines, which is something that I think is really important to have inside your website, because it's really important that if you were to make a website, of course, people should be able to find it if they were to search on it on Google. Now, before we start creating the sitemap, I just want to mention a couple of things when it comes to which sort of websites actually need to have a sitemap inside of it. Now, technically, there's no downsides to having a sitemap inside your website. So I would say that all websites should have a sitemap. However, there are specific websites that definitely needs to have a sitemap if you want to get noticed inside search engines, or if you want to make it easier for users to navigate the website. Now, the first thing is that if you have a large website that has a lot of links inside of it that goes to all sorts of subpages, then it becomes harder for Google or other search engines to find the content inside your website if you do not have a sitemap. So if you have a really big website, it's important that you include a sitemap inside your website. Now, the second kind of website would be a site that doesn't really have content that is well linked to, meaning that if you have content that is sort of digged into your website, where you have to go to one link and then visit another link to get to your content, then it's a good idea to have a direct link from your, let's say, your front page that goes directly to those specific pages. Now, the last example would be if you have a new website, because as a new website inside the internet, you might not have very good SEO optimization applied to your website. And again, a way to boost your SEO optimization on the website to make it easier for Google or other search engines to find a website is to include a sitemap. So it can only benefit you if you have a new website that needs to have some SEO build up to make it more easy to find. So I really recommend that these specific type of websites have a sitemap inside of it. So again, in the last episode, or not the last one, but the last one before that one, we learned how to upload a website to the internet. And I went ahead and uploaded my website that we created in this course some episodes back. I uploaded that specific website to emmentuts.com. So I'm going to go ahead and copy the URL for my website. Then I'm going to go to a website called xml-sitemaps.com. I'm going to leave a link in the description so you can visit this website. And inside this site, you can have a free sitemap generated just by pasting in the link for your website. So I'm going to go to this input here. Just going to copy in the link for my website, say start. And then you can see it's going to process the website and get all the different links. And then we can get the sitemap details. So now that the website is done loading, you can actually see we get a couple of different options inside the website here. Now there's a couple of steps we need to take in order to actually get the sitemap working inside the website. First of all, we need to actually download the sitemap, which we can actually do right now by clicking the download button. And then you can see we have the sitemap down here. Now the second thing we need to do is upload the sitemap to our website. Now the website that I showed you here is actually my online version of the website. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab my sitemap and go to FileZilla, which is where I have my online version of the website. Just going to drag the sitemap into the main directory of my root folder, which again, just to show you on an offline version of my website, if I were to show you the website here, it will be the same place where we have the index file and all the other pages inside the website. So the main root directory of your website. And the last thing we need to do is we need to register the sitemap with a search engine. Now, all major search engines today, including Google, has a way for you to register the sitemap with them. So there's actually a link down here where we can actually go to Google's own console and add our sitemap to it. So I'm just going to go here and I'm just going to copy paste my URL link. There we go. Then say add property. Then it's going to just load it up here. And then we get a couple of different steps we need to add in order to get this working inside, or at least recommended steps to get this working inside our website. So first of all, we need to download the HTML verification file. Just going to click it and there we have it. Then I'm going to upload it to the website. So I'm just going to grab it. And again, I'm going to upload it to FileZilla inside the main directory at the same place where we have the sitemap. Then I'm going to go back inside Google. And then I'm going to confirm the upload by visiting this link that it gave me here. So I'm just going to click it. And there we have it. And it's not really going to show you anything special. It's just to show you that we do actually have the file inside our website. So as you can see inside the link, it says mmtools.com/ and then the file that we just uploaded. So we don't need to do anything inside this specific page here. I'm going to go back to the search console. And then I'm going to go down to the bottom here and click verify. So I'm just going to make sure that I'm not a robot. And then I'm going to say verify. And there we have it. So now I just verified that I own mmtools.com and now registered the sitemap inside Google. So now the Google search engine should now know about my website and the different links that we have inside the website using the sitemap. So this is how we can include a sitemap to our website. If you want to make it even better, you could of course also add a sitemap.html file, like I mentioned in the beginning of this tutorial, that is just simply a separate page for your users to go into and find different links to your website. So this is how we create a sitemap. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.